Hey Bulldogs, I'm Justin Rochelle, and welcome to our September edition of Code Blue News.
Streets, it's a miracle that they find the perfect home for them to live their fullest life.
As you wrap up the month, it's important to honor September as National Recovery Month. As the number of fatalities seem to climb higher and higher, there's one organization that goes above and beyond to make sure no one in Holbrook is forgotten. Holbrook Cares honors those who have died from overdose and helps provide resources for recovering addicts as they find their footing. On National Overdose Awareness Day, our very own Lorelei Fraticelli attended their annual candlelight vigil to commemorate those who have passed.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
This past Saturday, Holbrook celebrated Overdose Awareness Day with a special candlelight vigil. With food, friends, and a community supporting them, people had a safe space to come together and mourn those they have lost to drug overdose.
Alexa Greenwood. Alexa Ian Greenwood Quealy.
The Candlelight Vigil is something that we do every year to remember and honor and reminisce of all the loved ones we've lost, the community and their family.
Quincy and Brockton were doing visuals for the entire town and people have passed. But then unfortunately so many people passed since then that town started doing their own visual because there was just so many. Holbrook Cares started putting on it was a small visual and then it just kept on growing and growing and growing.
The Holbrook Cares Coalition is that it actually started right over to your right at St. Joe's Church.
Holbrook Cares is a grassroots coalition that came together to help find ways to acknowledge the loss that we were feeling at the time. We were losing a lot of loved ones. Some of us were suffering with loved ones at home. The opportunity came to talk about it in the community, which is something that's never done. That meeting came together and been there ever since.
Since 2010, we've lost 23,000 people in the state of Massachusetts due to overdose. I mean, truthfully, it's awareness, making sure the community knows there are many loved ones that have been lost, awareness about the possibility of one pill could take one life, but also to know that, many times individuals think it's just me suffering with the loss of a loved one when there's a whole community.
Overdose awareness is important to spread throughout the community. So many loved ones have been lost to overdose, and their lives deserve to be celebrated instead of forgotten. For Code Blue Now, this has been Lorelei Fraticelli reporting.
Celebrating the legacy of all those who have passed truly leaves an impact on the Holbrook community. It was also Holbrook Cares' 10th anniversary this year. What a beautiful event to not only commemorate others, but also to celebrate the current progress being made to stop drug-involved overdoses. And speaking of honoring impacts on our community, a pair of 7th graders here at HMHS have been making their waves after they turned their favorite hobby into a passionate business that gives back. It really shows how they use pastime and friendship to create a chance that positively impacts the world around them. Let's hand it off to Zanaya, who shines a spotlight on those two bracelet buddies.
With many charities in need of donations, Massachusetts is no exception. So two 7th graders came together to help out the community by making bracelets.
We came up with the idea of making bracelets when we found our old bead kits that were in our rooms. We started making bracelets and we found that it was a really fun activity for us to do together.
Me and Brianna both loved making bracelets, so we decided to come together to help people. And we just been making bracelets for so long. We've made tons of different designs. We would love making people happy to donate.
What started as a hobby turned into a business that donates half of their proceeds to charity. Just recently, they donated over $350 to the New England Wildlife Center.
It's our first donation that we've ever done to the Pet Vet. They were so happy. They let us go look at like every single room and the whole spot, and they like let us take tons of pictures.
We did a stand a couple months ago, and then we ended up doing 2 stands. One bracelet is $3. Our slogan is one bracelet could save someone's life or change someone's life. That $3 could go to someone's surgery or like an animal surgery, and that could save their life.
If you would like to purchase a bracelet, contact Brianna and Layla so they continue the great work of helping those in need. For Code Blue Now, this has been Zanaya De Silva reporting.
Thank you, Zanaya, for highlighting how these two were able to find success in their seemingly simple hobbies. Activities such as bracelet making not only yields an accessory for you to rock later on, it also can be a therapeutic way to unwind and cope with stress. And here at HMHS, we're working with an organization that helps our athletes with their mental health struggles. When they're not feeling up to the plate, Kyle Cares helps them find their peace and aims to dispel the stigma to help out the mental health surrounding our athletes.
So Kyle Cares is a nonprofit organization based out of North Attleboro, part of the Kyle Johnson Foundation, where they kind of just break the stigma in middle high schools for mental health and bring awareness to various platforms. So on September 23rd, we actually had both of our soccer teams, the varsity teams, wear green socks in support of mental health awareness. The green ribbon displays the mental health awareness, and that's the color that they utilize for mental health.
I am president and co-founder of Kyle Cares, along with my wife Sue and our daughters Katie and Lauren. So we started Kyle Cares in memory of our son Kyle, who died by suicide 6 years ago. Kyle was 19 years old and he was a sophomore at the time. And we work closely with high schools and colleges in New England to help schools bring mental health and suicide prevention programs into their schools to support their students, to try and help decrease, teenage and young adult suicide and self-harm.
So the biggest thing right now with mental health and the stigma that it produces is kids are afraid to be able to make their issues known to those around them. The main reason I would say that kids need to really pay attention to their mental health is because it's starting to really impact them, and a lot of the older generations are starting to see that.
Bulldogs on 3! Bulldogs!
Although our athletes are always crushing it out there in the field, they face some of the most serious mental health issues that should be brought to light. And now, the color green has a whole new meaning to me. It symbolizes hope that our athletes always have someone to watch their back, whether they're competing or not. And that about wraps up this edition. We thank you for tuning in for Code Blue News. I'm Justin Rochelle, and see you next month.